legislators were saying, come back to us. We'll see if we can enhance those funds and provide a bigger piece next year. The funds are now on schedule to be, of that $1 million, they're now on schedule to be distributed to Lewis and Clark. Actually, it should be the end of this week. They will be distributed or in the process of being distributed. There's again, a process where those funds also go to the same Water and Natural Resources Board as an individual appropriation and then get distributed out. The $1 million, the determination on the distribution of the $1 million was that it would be in advance on federal funds, and then once the federal funds come back to Lewis and Clark, when they come,
Yes. Believe it, sister.
you gotta believe it. When those funds come back to Lewis and Clark, if construction is not yet completed, the construction would be completed to the capacity level, meaning all members would be hooked up. We would call it a non-firm capacity level, meaning all members would be hooked up with the federal money coming in, and then the state would be reimbursed at that point. And that's what the $1 million distribution will be about. So the state is brought into that concept, the state, is a letter of intent from the state legislature, which is different from state legislation, but it's a letter of intent, and then also the Water and Natural Resources Board are looking at it that way. It's a reimbursable loan paid with federal funds, but not until after this non-firm construction is complete. And when I talk about non-firm construction, what I mean, so that you all understand is, and maybe you're familiar with this as well, but it would be when everyone's hooked up and they're at capacity, but it would not include the additional final items of construction that would provide some redundancy in the system for more reliability. It would not include generators for more reliability, that sort of thing. So there's a firm and non-firm. Basic, I think, is a very good way of putting that. So, but that's kind of the stair-step approach on getting those funds back into the South Dakota Treasury, but also making sure that we have all the ratepayers on board first. So, thanks for helping us.
Kind of the overall purpose of both of these priorities would be, one, we want to show our support for the Lewis and Clark system overall as a whole. Two, it's good for Southeast South Dakota, it's good for Sioux Falls. And three, it gets more ratepayers on it. I mean, that kind of boils it down.
So I would ask that you support both priorities. One would basically be a legislative resolution, and the other one would be an actual appropriation from the government.
It's similar to what Minnesota did.
The sort of payback arrangement, yes, Minnesota did on the $45 million bond would be supported. They actually did issuances, authorized issuances of local bonds, but that $45 million would be paid back through state aid, but it would be offset by federal funds when those federal funds come in. So, yeah, it's in hand.
Questions from the council?
Did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, she did perfect.
I think you can put this to our list then.
I think all of you should have received by email an email from the Municipal League about a proposal that may appear again during the legislature. It's a local option clear tank that was tried in 2010. According to that bill, it's temporary. It has to be approved by the voters, and it has to have a special purpose such as that infrastructure, economic development. Once the project or infrastructure is funded, the penny is no more. And if the local body wants to initiate the penny again, it has to go to the voters. It has to be approved by the council. This will probably come before the municipal league at the policy meetings. It may be good to discuss amongst yourselves, probably because I think some of you will be asked to vote, and that comes with policy statements.
Who would collect that third penny? I
The
mean,
state,
could it go to a county or?
Department of Revenue, under the law, which neither Councilor Erickson might want to help me with this, but the Department of Revenue collects the revenue and then it disperses it with an administrative
Who
fee.
could establish that?
Right now, it's the city,
Only a city municipality, not a
Yeah.
county, not a
not under that proposal, but
school board.
It could. That is a chance with the municipal league. And I asked Yvonne what her thoughts were if that very scenario played out where it was like half goes to the city, half goes to the county, half goes to the, and she said that because of that previous priority that
Yeah,
you
that's
all
what I was
approved,
going to, yeah.
that the municipal league would fight that tooth and nail. They would not allow sales tax to be used by any other government entity that's a municipal revenue source. So a third penny would be.
We see this coming up, it's being proposed legislation, and the discussion is that we should be opposing that?
No, it should be, the municipal league will support it if it's directed at cities for use for infrastructure and for economic development.
And the language is very specific in that it would have to, any such implementation of that type of a tax would have to be approved by the voters of that municipality.
That's correct.
Isn't this something we considered?
This was the original.
2010 original thing.
That's
But he went saying, all right.
How did that fly at the state legislature?
The governor killed it.
I was gonna say, I didn't think it got out of committee.
He killed it. He said he wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, what I've learned at the municipal league board meetings I had recently was that this issue's coming back for one of those smaller communities. We have no other way to help fund some infrastructure development in these smaller communities. So I think for the city of Sioux Falls, we had a little trouble because it was an entertainment venue and not a water main. It was a downtown or a water tower or fire truck. Frankly, there's some issues that those smaller communities face that are just totally different.
So is this strictly economic, for economic development, or could it be for infrastructure?
2010 bill was infrastructure and or economic development.
Does that stay the same?
The final bill hasn't been proposed yet. And as staff, I was recommending that the council be silent, so this is not seen as a Sioux Falls initiated bill, and it remains a small town bill, especially if you are in support of it. But the final language hasn't been out there. It's just, this 2010 bill has been floated around. And I, just as staff and amongst everyone, it might come up before one of the committees when you're in here. How should we vote?
Other than remaining silent, any other thoughts?
Well, we wouldn't, he's saying, remaining silent and that it wouldn't be in our list specifically, but I think, because we're all assigned to committees on municipal league, we're all assigned to policy committees, I think we should vote yes. I think we need to support our little brothers and sisters. I mean, it's economic development in those towns that are around us and across the state. Yeah, that's probably not a nice way to call it, but when you get there, that's what it kind of feels like, is that we're all supporting each other.
And those smaller communities do have issues that we just can't even.
Sure, is this something that you can monitor and give us updates on as the legislature comes together so that we know, I guess I'd want to know more about what is being proposed before I'm gonna jump and say I'm gonna support it. I love the ideal as far as, for smaller communities to really understand that they need these funds to be able to, keep their infrastructure at least up to date. So, if it's something like that, I'm sure we can, but, once again, we never know what's gonna come out until we actually see the first draft.
My guess is the municipal league probably will not have a they may have a bill, they've had bills in the past, but it might just be a statement that the municipal league supports a third penny that is geared toward infrastructure and economic development that has to be approved by the voters and has a sunset. That might be what comes before one of your policy committees. I'm not sure which policy
They
committee.
usually give us a heads up on something like that though too, so, you know, it'd be something we'd have a little time to discuss.
Taxation.
No.
I'm gonna go see when Tracy's on, what committee are we on?
Tax revenue.
Yeah. So that'd probably be where it comes to.
Yeah,
I'll see
so
it.
public health and safety on that next.
Yeah, I'll probably be the one seeing that, but, so any concern about supporting that type of legislation? I don't see anybody with any objection to supporting that type of legislation, so it'll probably, like I said, come before us at the municipal league. Look at that, so, okay.
The voters in those towns have to approve it.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. But we don't want them in our business, we shouldn't be in theirs if they feel it's right for their community. Okay?
So that's number one.
Any other discussion on legislative priorities?
I would throw in that the privilege that we have as a home rule charter kind of makes it a whole lot different for us than a whole lot of other communities. It seems like we would want to, not even all the technicalities of the privilege that we have. If other communities had it, have the home rule charter, they would solve a lot of their problems. So the realm that we're in is a lot different than the realm that most everybody else is in. So somehow I'm advocating home rule charter for the communities. Just a gesture.
They can do it, but their citizens have to vote for it, don't they? It's up to them, it's in state law that they can do it.
Oh, I thought that state legislature had to pass it.
If she's talking about home rule, they can wait.
It just can't be that easy. Everybody wants it.
Voters have to approve it, but the municipal league tried to pass a bill that would allow the governing body to approve home rule. And that was kind of different. So the way that the voters have to approve home rule, but the bill that the municipal league was trying to push would allow the governing body to approve home rule. So by passing, the citizens.
Let's move, in order to get done here, let's move on to our National Citizen Survey. And Jim, why don't you you've been managing this program as our legislative operations manager. Lead on this.
Thank you, guys.
The citizen survey was moved from in last year's budget, it was amended from the finance department to the city council. The total amount is $25,000. In conversations with the group that officiates the survey, they said it's going to be about $22,000 to do the survey again. In your packet, you'll see the 2014 template. It differs somewhat from 2013 and the previous years. Questions 5 through 10, there is some flexibility with some of the options. For example, you'll see on question number 8, it talks about in the last 12 months how many times that, if at all, have you or a household member done each of the following: a used bus, rail, subway, and so you could remove rail and subway from that. And then there is the custom questions, which you'll see on pages 4 of 5. It could be 3 to 5 questions, including one open-ended question. And the next handout, you'll see I have omitted questions. This includes the questions from 08, 09, and 13 that are no longer in this survey, for you to consider if you want to include that in the custom questions. And on the final page of that handout, I have other potential questions, just throwing out different ideas. One of them, this came out during I'm sorry, it's the last page of the Yeah, omitted questions in the final page. This is just one that staff had come up with. I didn't receive anything from administration or council, but this came up during the election. Where do you get your information for election news? So we did include email, newspaper, local TV news, friends, family, social media, internet, other. Couldn't think of anything else. And then the final question is, do you read your legal notices in the paper? So yes, so there's just some.
One of the custom questions we had last time was on snow gates. And,
Want to have it again?
Maybe it'll come back, no.
but it's interesting, those are great places to kind of, I'm trying to think of some just recently of issues that are relevant at the time now versus that's what's good about it, I guess. For me, and I'm just throwing this out there, this is a working session.
Yeah.
So working these ideas through. But I've been trying to understand this whole issue of not my backyard. You know what I mean? So you have a neighborhood area over here who's challenged with something that's impacting them. And they're all in a tizzy. And you have another neighborhood over here who's got something going on there in a tizzy. And I'm trying to figure out, is it a citywide issue? Or is it just a neighborhood issue? And would these not my backyard people ever come together to say, well, it's not good there, it's not good for me, it's not good anywhere? I'm trying to, just anyway, that whole not my backyard, the whole zoning issue, something. I'd like to understand more about the public's feelings about some of those issues. I don't know the answer, but that's just something I'm struggling with. Oh, what is the city council's role? I mean, we've got it laid out in an ordinance. Why is there any discussion? The law is the law. Who cares what you think? Pass the law then. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that deal out. You know what I mean? So that was just one idea I had. And as well, if I could explain the reason we have this, that we have this survey. It was under previous years. I think it was done by the city council years ago. And then the cost was split between the city and the administration, for the council and the city. And then essentially the administration took it over. And the reason I bring it up now is that Snowgate question, we were trying to get the answers to these survey questions when they were done last time. We had absolutely no access to the information until the administration felt it was time to give it to us. And one of those issues was the snow gates. Question was on there, and I think there was something was coming up, but they had the results of the survey, and then the administration was giving recommendations about snow gates after they got the survey information, and then we get the survey later that says, oh, by the way, yeah, the public does support. And I fought, I don't know if I was chair or what the heck I was fighting so hard for to get the information, but it was said it was only as a gift that they shared it with us. And I found that completely offensive and not appropriate as the policy-making body. That's what we can gather from all of this, and where do we need to change, what do we need to do? I mean, I've got the results from last time. You could map out a strategy for giving the citizens exactly what they want by changing ordinances and things based on their opinions. And it's a great resource for us. But it was not for us to really see. It was a gift to us that we received it. So I wanted to make sure that this body had it, and we controlled it. We paid for it. Now we're responsible for it. I'm just totally convinced that this is a super tool for us. We should have it. It should be.
First, then.
Yeah.
We get it. And then
But can I say that let's not do that? Let's not be that way.
Oh, right.
Let's share it.
Oh, yes.
Everything, here it is, everything's here, go for it, whatever you want. Let's not be vindictive about this, but But, yeah, let's go for it.
And some of the inside baseball of a survey like this is, you know, the XYZ is a big citizen survey, you know. What's your age? What's your income? Are you own or are you renting? I mean, it's important to know that type of stuff when you get a survey back. Where's that opinion coming from? And with the council owning this survey, and that's, I'm taking that from Greg, and that's why it's back at the council. I said, let's put this back in our budget there. Councilor Jameson's recommendation and suggestion that we do that, and I feel strongly that it should be that way. So now we've got it, we're going to own it. What do we want in it?
Last year, this snowgate was a big issue in safety, citizen safety.
What was it? Downtown or wherever.
So they were kind of, let's do this. And said, what do you want to know?
Streets
All right,
are up there as well.
Before we go too far, like Michelle said, last time when this survey was done, we were not privy or included into what questions we think are important. Let's reach out to the administration and ask them what they definitely consider that.
Yes.
Let's do it like Michelle suggested. So include them, whoever.
An email did go out to the administration and the city directors requesting their options or their ideas for this, and nothing was received. And Greg, I was going to point you to, on this back page in 2008, 16D. I don't know if this really captures what you're thinking, but it says, please rate how well the city is managing growth. Excellent, good, fair, poor, something all that. Not exactly what you're maybe looking for, but something.
No, that's not that. Wait, this was in 2000, that was a 2008 question. That comes kind of close to what you're saying, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm only just,
Yeah, no, I just can't figure out what it would.
What kind of timeline do we have to make any suggestions?
No, we're really early in the process. The last time this was done in January, so it was actually in the 2012 budget. So it was done in January 2013, and we looked at the response rates. It's been done in the fall, it's been done in the winter, and it was at 33–34%. So staff was planning on just having this in winter in January of 2015, but everything's signed paid with this budget.
I think the cycle is important, the timeline is important, because like you ask, how do you feel the streets are? And if you ask it in the spring, if you ask it late summer, everything's much better, right? So there is a relevance to the time, so let's make sure we follow the sequence. Whatever we did in previous, we stay on.
Another one might be, since snow gates will be implemented at this time, it might be an opportunity in January to gauge the public opinion on the success of snow gates.
If that's the.
That might be a wonderful question.
Well, just to throw it out, then I like both of the other potential questions. I like both of those because they're based on conversations that we've been having over time. I would like to see both of those. I'd like to see us also look at that number 16, the 2008 custom question numbers. And again, in the omitted questions handout that you have, I'd like to talk about wording for that, but stuff comes around with wording. Yeah, so I like those for what it's worth.
Michelle probably come up with a few of the.
Yeah.
These are the general ideas.
Yeah.
I was always just trying to figure out what is our, we're trying to predict what the citizens want or are thinking. This is the way to get a better true answer. What are those things? And oftentimes when we're sitting there making a zoning decision, we're trying to judge whether this is a community-wide problem or is it a neighborhood problem. That's just one example, but there could be others. And public safety, affordable housing. Just trying to think of things that are bigger issues for us there. If we had the citizens all sitting here, we could ask them, what would we ask them? It's a great tool.
this firm that they provide any guidance, questions that, like you said, you got certain things you want to focus in on.
Yep. They'll work with us, of course, they have the template, and they may be able to help us and ask a question, so it's not such a leading question, you're looking for a certain response, so, she has been, the individual I've worked with, she's been great, have a question within an hour or so, there's a response right away, so I think we have a great partner, in this firm.
But you have,
How many optional questions do you have the ability to have?
It really is 3 to 5. It depends on how large the question is. It can only fit in a certain portion of the page. So if there is, if the council decide on 5 questions, maybe rank them in case one of them has to drop off. We have an option for one open-ended question.
We want to go through the omitted and go through those. We want to come up with our own. What do we think?
I think I'd like to read through them before, I'd like to study them myself before we start really going at these.
Homework, we got homework.
Yeah.
Let's put a date on it when it has to be end mode, so that he can put a
That's why I was
preliminary
asking
together.
for the timeline.
Yeah.
We're gonna have more working sessions with budget and stuff, and sometime if we have time, we can include it on the back end of one of those working sessions.
But I'm saying, let's get a time, a date for us to get our suggestions into Jim by that time, so that he can then come back at the next time that it's appropriate with what might be a preliminary, and explain why he's answered, why these questions were added and why they weren't, you know.
I like it, and like Jim said, he did send an email out to all the departments requesting their input and didn't get a reply, so I mean, if you don't get a reply, I don't know where that's gonna lead us.
I think we should send another one out saying, we discussed it today, and we would really like your input on this.
Yeah, this is,
Last time.
In the email, I'll include the omitted questions.
Please.
Maybe it's kind of a brainstorm.
that would be a good, yeah, good spark for him, okay?
Jim, right now, in terms of number of questions, how does the 2014 survey compare to the 13?
You know, you'll notice there is some changes. There's quite a bit of the questions that were removed. It's more, livability seems to be the theme of this survey. Previous, as David said, crime was a big part of the other survey. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Well, in terms of just number of questions.
It should be the same number of
They are,
questions.
okay.
Should be the same number of questions. And that's a good point.
And that's
too.
why we have that option of 4 or 5 additional questions.
Yeah, just a matter of how much of the paper it takes up. And this will bring good information for both you, Counselor Kylie and Erickson. We do have extra copies of the 2013 survey. And there is a online.
That's
copy
available
too.
online as well, too.
Yeah, so.
I mean, this is, as everyone has said, this is a great tool, and it should serve as our roadmap in terms of how we govern. Oh, it is.
Okay, so, 2 weeks enough time, less than that, is that too much?
we're way ahead. We're way ahead of the schedule, so.
Well, like July 15, that was 3 weeks.
We're gonna be
Because if
getting
you don't
back
set a
in-
date on it, it won't get done, number
Yeah.
one, and if you don't put a reasonable amount of time, it will be put off.
Maybe set this.
They don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it gonna be a work session or is it gonna be?
We're gonna have, you know, next week, Tuesday, the mayor's presenting his capital budget, so we'll probably be having a work session to tear into that real soon. So by the 3rd week of July, I see that happening. So why don't we make it July 15th, like Kenny said, and send out 2 emails, the first one and then a reminder, and
That's on a Tuesday. So if we're talking a work session, we might want to do it July 16th.
yeah, so that would get it to him before the work session.
Date is
So
enough
he
time
gets
for all of
it,
us to.
no, he
for
needs
him to
time
get
to-
it, yeah.
Where's
So you have 1 day to type it up.
When do you have planning on budget work sessions?
Well, I plan on having the first one on the 9th.
In July.
Right. That way, we're getting the information
this one up to the, instead of the 15th, make it the 8th.
July there, plus.
It's a good time to do